Why someone is always on your mind? Does that person think about you? Old Stoic wisdom. Have you ever found yourself unable to shake the thought of someone, no matter how hard you try to move on? It's as if they've claimed a permanent place in your mind, lingering there without invitation. But here's the real question. Is it possible they're thinking about you as well? Or is it all just your mind creating illusions? This phenomenon isn't just some random occurrence. It's been studied by psychologists for years. The answer is far more fascinating than you might think. From the way we form deep emotional connections to the lingering effects of unresolved relationships, we'll dive into the reasons why that person occupies your thoughts so relentlessly, and whether they might be feeling the same way about you. As the ancient Stoics taught, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. So let's explore how your mind works and uncover whether this constant presence in your thoughts is a sign of something deeper. By the end of this, you'll gain a new perspective on both your emotions and the person who seems to never leave your mind. 1. The psychology of constant thoughts. When someone is constantly on your mind, it's rarely a coincidence. There's actual psychology at play. It's not just a matter of recalling memories or daydreaming. Your mind is often holding on to something deeper, something unresolved. One of the main drivers of this constant fixation is a psychological phenomenon known as the Zarnik effect, which explains why our thoughts linger on emotional experiences that remain unfinished. Imagine a conversation left unsaid, or a relationship that ended abruptly. Your mind tends to loop back to these unresolved feelings, often searching for closure that may never truly come. This is where the mind gets caught in a cycle, fixating on the other person not because you want to, but because your brain perceives an emotional, unfinished business that it can't let go of. It's like reading the last chapter of a book, only to find out the pages are torn, and you keep trying to figure out what happens next. In this way, your thoughts remain tethered to that person, with your brain struggling to understand what the resolution should be, but never truly finding it. Then, there's the undeniable power of emotional triggers. Think of a song that transports you to a specific time and place, or a scent that instantly reminds you of someone you once knew. These are no random occurrences. Our brain is wired to associate specific emotions, like love, nostalgia, or regret, with particular stimuli. These feelings become embedded in our memory, and suddenly, a seemingly insignificant object, a fleeting moment, or even a distant location can pull the person back into your thoughts, as if they never really left. This is the brain's way of linking strong emotional experiences to sensory inputs, meaning that one smell, one sound, or even one touch can bring that person to the forefront of your mind at a moment's notice. It's not just about thinking of someone, it's about feeling those emotions once again, as if time hasn't passed at all. It's powerful how the senses reignite the past, and when those emotions were intense, they seem to haunt us longer. Of course, we can't ignore the role of dopamine in this mental loop. This neurotransmitter is the brain's reward system, the chemical that makes you feel good when you accomplish something meaningful or experience something exciting. When someone once made you feel happy, elated, or emotionally charged, your brain remembers that rush. It associates that person with the release of dopamine, and over time, this connection can become almost addictive. The more your mind returns to them, the stronger this neurological connection grows, forming a habit you may not even be aware of. Essentially, it's like developing an emotional craving. Each thought about that person might momentarily recreate that same joy or excitement, making it harder to break the cycle. This makes it easier to obsess over them, even when you know that it might not be healthy or productive. The more you return to that mental loop, the more embedded the feeling becomes, and it creates a mental pattern that's difficult to escape. But here's the real challenge. Is this ongoing fixation driven by an emotional bond, or is it merely a mental loop your brain refuses to release? In modern life, where distractions are endless, where our focus is constantly pulled in different directions, the mind's tendency to latch onto a person can feel consuming. It may appear as if this person holds a special place in your life, but it's crucial to ask, are these thoughts about them a reflection of a genuine emotional connection? Or is it just your mind caught in a repetitive thought pattern? When we think about someone frequently, it's easy to convince ourselves that there's something profound at work, but in reality, it might be that we're simply wired to keep returning to an idea or feeling that was once pleasurable or unresolved. So, what do we do with this? First, recognize the distinction between a bond and a mental loop. If it's truly a bond, it will feel fulfilling, not just repetitive or draining. If it's a loop, it's important to acknowledge it as such and try to break free, focusing on developing your own sense of closure rather than waiting for the other person to provide it. In today's world, it's easy to get trapped in the cycle of constant thoughts about someone, especially in a culture that values constant connection. Social media, texting, and the ease of digital communication have made it simpler than ever to stay linked to people in our lives, even if we don't want to. This constant access can keep someone on your mind far longer than is healthy, whether they are a past lover, a friend, or even a colleague. It's important to practice self-awareness. Acknowledge the emotional triggers that bring that person back to your thoughts, and when you feel the pull, take control. You don't have to let your mind wander back to that loop. You can create new habits, new emotional connections, and focus on your own growth. In the context of ancient Stoic wisdom, the idea of letting go of attachments and focusing on one's own path can be a powerful reminder. Stoics believed in the importance of mastering one's thoughts and emotions, learning to detach from external sources of happiness or distress. In modern life, this could mean recognizing when you're allowing your thoughts to be dominated by someone else's influence. The Stoics would encourage you to reframe your thinking, accept that some things are beyond your control, and shift your focus inward to create peace within yourself. By doing so, you can break free from the endless loop of thoughts about others, regaining your mental clarity and emotional freedom. It's not about ignoring the emotional pull, but rather understanding the deeper causes of these thoughts and choosing to focus on what truly brings you peace. 2. Is this love or just an obsession? Have you ever wondered why someone is always on your mind? Could it be love, or is it something else, like obsession? It's easy to get confused between the two, especially when deep feelings start to cloud your judgment. But the truth is, there's a significant difference between love and obsession, and understanding this distinction can bring clarity to your emotions and your relationships. Love, as the wise philosophers and psychologists would agree, isn't just about thinking about someone constantly. It's about the emotional connection, the bond you share, the mutual understanding and respect that grows over time. Love brings security and comfort, rooted in meaningful conversations, shared experiences, and a deep, authentic affection that nourishes both people involved. On the other hand, obsession is something entirely different. It feels like an overwhelming, uncontrollable force, more like a tug on your very soul, pulling you into a cycle of doubt and anxiety. Instead of warmth, it leaves you restless, constantly searching for reassurance. You might find yourself scrutinizing their texts, analyzing every word, or stalking their social media, hoping for something, anything, that will give you the validation you crave. This is where the danger lies. Your mind can't always tell the difference between love and obsession. The brain doesn't just process thoughts, it reacts to them, often triggering the same neural pathways associated with addiction. The more you fixate on someone, the more entrenched those pathways become, creating a loop that's tough to break. You might start to feel that urgent need to be close to them, even if they haven't reciprocated, and you'll crave their attention, which, in turn, increases your anxiety. It's like being trapped in a mental maze, with no clear way out. So how can you tell whether what you're feeling is genuine love or an obsession? Look closely at how you feel when you're with this person or even thinking about them. If the experience is filled with warmth, joy, and a sense of belonging, it's likely love. But if it leaves you constantly questioning your worth, feeling anxious, or caught in a cycle of uncertainty, it might be time to take a step back and ask yourself whether you're truly connecting with the person or simply being consumed by an unhealthy fixation. As the ancient Stoics would remind us, true contentment and happiness come not from external forces or other people, but from within. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This is a powerful reminder that we must take control of our thoughts and emotions, ensuring that they lead us toward balance rather than chaos. It's important to keep in mind that while obsession can give you an intense, almost addictive feeling, it doesn't nourish your soul or help you grow. True love encourages growth. It nurtures your best qualities, and it creates a foundation of trust and respect that leads to long-lasting happiness. In contrast, obsession keeps you stuck, perpetuating self-doubt and insecurity. So, as you reflect on the person who's always on your mind, take a step back and ask yourself, am I in a loving, balanced relationship that makes me feel secure and emotionally fulfilled? Or am I merely caught in a pattern of anxious thinking that doesn't serve me? To truly understand the nature of your feelings, it's essential to ask whether this relationship or attachment is helping you become the best version of yourself. If the answer is yes, then you might just be experiencing the wonderful, fulfilling depths of love. But if your thoughts are characterized by anxiety, restlessness, and a constant need for validation, it could be time to break free from the cycle of obsession and focus on finding inner peace and emotional balance. As the famous philosopher Seneca once said, "True love is not about finding someone to live with, it's about finding someone you can't imagine living without." Real love enhances your life. It doesn't consume you. So take a moment to examine your emotions and let your heart and your mind guide you to the truth of what you're feeling. If you recognize the difference between love and obsession, take action now. Reflect on your own relationships and ask yourself, is it love or is it obsession? Drop a comment below with this sentence, "I choose love, not obsession." Like this video, subscribe for more timeless wisdom, and remember, true love strengthens you, obsession weakens you. 3. Does this mean they're thinking about you too? When someone constantly occupies your thoughts, it's only natural to wonder, does that person think about you too? We often like to imagine that unseen connections bind us. Maybe when they're on our mind, they're thinking of us in return. But is that just wishful thinking, or is there truth behind this belief? One theory proposes that there's an energetic connection between people, an invisible link formed by our thoughts and emotions. Think about those moments when you're lost in thought about someone, only to receive a message from them minutes later. Could it be coincidence, or is there something deeper at play? This theory can be alluring, yet science offers a more grounded explanation. Social and cognitive psychology research reveals that our brains are hardwired for pattern recognition. When we repeatedly think about someone, we start to notice things that seem like signs or indications that they're thinking of us too. But in reality, these signs were always there. We simply weren't attuned to them until now. Then there's the mirror effect, where your actions indirectly influence how others perceive you. If you're constantly liking their posts, commenting on their pictures, or just lingering on their profile, you may be unknowingly entering their world, shaping their thoughts and reactions toward you. You may not realize it, but the more energy you pour into thinking about them, the more you become part of their mental landscape. So, do they feel the same? Perhaps, but it's not guaranteed. Yet, there's an undeniable truth. The more power you invest in your thoughts, the more they shape your reality. As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, famously said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When you focus on someone, you attract their attention, consciously or subconsciously. It's like a magnet. Thoughts can draw people in. The key is to focus your energy wisely and not let uncertainty or doubt control your mental state. Take charge of your thoughts, and you'll see the world around you begin to respond. Think about it. Are you ready to wield the power of your own mind, or will you let it control you? You have the choice. Leave a comment with "I control my thoughts" if you believe in the power of your mind to shape your destiny, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights like this. 4. How to break free. If you want to. If you find yourself constantly preoccupied with thoughts of someone, whether it's an ex, a crush, or someone who seems to dominate your mental space, you're not alone. This persistent loop of thinking about them can become exhausting, leaving you distracted and mentally drained, and at times, it may even feel like you're stuck in a never-ending cycle. It's easy to believe that the person you're thinking about is the reason for all your emotional turmoil, but the truth is that your mind is just playing a game. The good news is that you can break free from this cycle, but it starts with understanding why your mind keeps clinging to them in the first place. The first step is to detach from those thoughts. It's important to acknowledge that resisting the thought often strengthens its grip. Instead of trying to push the thoughts away, simply observe them as they come, without judgment. When you catch yourself thinking about this person, gently tell yourself, "Oh, there they are again," and shift your focus elsewhere. Think of it like a cloud drifting by in the sky. It may float past, but it doesn't need to stick around. The more you resist or try to control these thoughts, the more power they will have over you. But the moment you stop battling them and simply let them be, you'll start to regain control. The second strategy involves replacing obsession with new passions or activities that engage your mind in different ways. The human brain thrives on novelty and stimulation, so if you're not providing it with something else to focus on, it will naturally return to the familiar, often unproductive thought patterns, like thinking about this person. To break the cycle, start immersing yourself in activities that excite you or give you a sense of purpose. Whether it's picking up a new hobby, diving into a personal project, or spending more time with people who lift you up, these new experiences will help redirect your energy and attention. The goal is to fill the space that was once occupied by thoughts of that person with something that sparks joy, creativity, or a sense of fulfillment. When your brain is occupied with fresh and exciting endeavors, it won't have the time or mental bandwidth to dwell on the past or constantly revisit someone who is no longer central to your life. You can also give yourself a test of sorts by pulling away mentally and observing what happens. Often, we are the ones maintaining the connection in our minds. By reaching out, reacting, and feeding those thoughts, we continue to sustain the mental connection, even when it's no longer serving us. So, take a step back and let the thoughts fade. Stop initiating contact, stop mentally feeding into the idea of them, and stop responding to the urge to keep the mental connection alive. See how they respond. Or better yet, see if they even notice. This is an incredibly powerful exercise because it forces you to confront whether or not this person is as invested in you as you are in them. If you pull away and nothing changes, it may be time to face the harsh reality that the connection you've been nurturing is one-sided. If they don't come looking for you or seem to be equally preoccupied with you, it's a sign that the emotional investment might have been disproportionate, and you might have been holding on to something that wasn't truly mutual. At the heart of all this, remember, your mind is incredibly powerful. If you've given someone too much space in it, you have the ability to take that space back. Your thoughts are yours to control, and while it can be difficult to stop thinking about someone who once had a significant place in your life, it's not impossible. Once you reclaim that mental space, you might come to a profound realization. It wasn't ever really about them. It was always about you. You were the one who allowed them to take up so much mental real estate. In fact, the thoughts you had about them could have been a reflection of your own desires, insecurities, or unmet needs. By stepping back and reevaluating your emotions, you may find that the obsession was less about the other person and more about something within you that you wanted to change, understand, or resolve. This process of detachment and refocusing your mental energy can be a deeply transformative experience. It's not just about trying to forget someone, but about rediscovering yourself in the process. Life today is filled with distractions, but this constant stream of thoughts about someone else can prevent you from fully engaging in the present moment and finding peace within yourself. You may feel like you're stuck, But the truth is, the power to move on is in your hands. It's a shift in perspective, understanding that the person who occupies your thoughts may not be as important as the growth and healing you're capable of achieving when you let go of that mental attachment. In modern life, distractions are everywhere, and it's easy to get caught up in the idea that someone else's presence or absence in our minds defines our happiness or peace. But true peace comes from within. Once you understand that you can control your thoughts, you'll be less likely to let them dominate your emotional state. This is about gaining a deeper understanding of yourself and recognizing that you have the ability to move beyond the thoughts and feelings that once felt inescapable. The more you practice this detachment and shift your focus toward things that bring you fulfillment and joy, the more you'll begin to notice a change. Before you know it, that person who once seemed to take up all your thoughts will become just another memory, no longer a source of distraction or emotional turmoil, but a part of your past that no longer holds power over your present. You'll find that by breaking free from this mental loop, you're not just freeing yourself from thoughts of them, you're freeing yourself to live fully and authentically in the now. If you're ready to take control of your thoughts and break free from that mental loop, it starts with one powerful realization: your mind, your rules. Stop letting someone else's presence or absence dictate your peace. Reclaim your mental space and discover a new path to growth and freedom. If you're committed to letting go of the past and focusing on your own healing, drop a comment below. I am in control of my thoughts and my future. Let's start this journey together. 5. The role of attachment styles. The role of attachment styles is a crucial factor in understanding why certain people seem to occupy your thoughts constantly. How you experience relationships and emotional connections is deeply influenced by your attachment style. If you have an anxious attachment style, for example, your mind may frequently return to a particular person because you tend to overthink and fixate on those connections. This can often stem from an underlying fear of abandonment or a strong desire for emotional closeness, making it feel as though someone is always on your mind. In such cases, this intense preoccupation isn't just about the individual themselves. It's about your internal anxieties and unresolved emotional needs that project onto them. People with anxious attachment often find it hard to relax or let go of their worries, leading them to mentally replay interactions or obsess over what others might think or feel about them. The uncertainty about where you stand in a relationship can trigger your mind to spiral, leading to frequent thoughts about the person who is at the center of these worries. On the other hand, individuals with a secure attachment style generally experience more balance in their relationships and emotional responses. They don't feel the constant pull of anxiety because they trust themselves and their partners to maintain healthy boundaries and communication. Securely attached individuals tend to feel more stable and confident in their connections, which allows them to have a clearer, more rational perspective on their relationships. They may think about someone, but their thoughts aren't clouded by obsessive fear or the need for constant reassurance. Understanding where you fall within these attachment styles can provide important insight into why this person is always on your mind. If you recognize that your attachment style leans more towards anxious tendencies, it can be a sign to work on fostering emotional independence and reducing the anxiety that causes you to dwell on specific individuals. It's important to remember that attachment styles are not fixed. They can evolve over time with self-awareness and intentional effort. Working on developing a more secure attachment through therapy or personal reflection can help free you from the emotional grip that causes you to overthink. By understanding your own attachment patterns, you can start to manage your thoughts in a healthier way and reduce the overwhelming preoccupation with someone who may not share the same intensity of feelings. 6. The power of nostalgia and past experiences. There are times when someone lingers in your mind, occupying your thoughts in ways that seem difficult to explain. It's easy to assume that the person themselves is the reason, but often it's not them you're missing. It's the time, the place, or the emotional state associated with them. As we grow older, the weight of nostalgia becomes heavier, drawing us back to moments when we felt connected, loved, or understood. These past experiences become intertwined with the person, making it seem as though they hold a special place in your current identity. It's as if you're yearning for that version of yourself that existed in those moments, and the person represents a key to that door. However, this emotional connection can be misleading. As the ancient Stoics taught us, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This wisdom can be applied here, reminding us that our longing is often for a simpler time when our hearts felt lighter, not for the person themselves. While it's natural to romanticize the past, it's essential to recognize that the emotions tied to those moments are more about the feelings we had than the individuals who were present in them. This understanding helps us separate the person from the memory and allows us to live more fully in the present without being trapped in the past. Nostalgia has a peculiar way of distorting our perception, often leading us to focus on the good while glossing over the difficulties that may have been present at the time. It's easy to forget that relationships, whether romantic or platonic, come with their own set of challenges. As we reflect on the past, we may remember the joy, the laughter, and the warmth, but the everyday struggles often fade into the background. This selective memory can cloud our judgment, making us think that we're missing a person when, in reality, we're missing the comfort of those fleeting moments of happiness. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This quote serves as a gentle nudge to remember that while we may feel a pull toward the past, it's our reaction to those memories that shapes our present and future. By recognizing that our longing is rooted in the emotional state we were in, rather than the person we were with, we can reclaim our sense of self and create new, meaningful experiences. When we begin to see nostalgia for what it truly is, a longing for past emotions rather than a specific person, it opens the door to deeper self-reflection. We can start to understand why certain experiences or individuals became so significant to us, and what they represent in our lives. This insight doesn't diminish the importance of those people or times. Rather, it allows us to appreciate them for what they were, while freeing us from the illusion that we can somehow recreate the past. The Stoics believe that the path to peace lies in accepting what we cannot change and focusing on what we can control. In the context of nostalgia, this means letting go of the idea that we can turn back time and instead embracing the power of the present moment. By doing so, we stop looking to the past for validation and start finding fulfillment in the here and now. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius once said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. It's through this lens of mindfulness that we can reframe our relationship with the past, allowing us to move forward with greater clarity and purpose. It's also important to recognize that, in many cases, the person we are thinking about might not be thinking about us in the same way, or at all. This can be a painful realization, but it's an essential part of personal growth. The Stoics practiced detachment, not in the sense of being indifferent to others, but in the sense of understanding that we cannot control how others think or feel. Our thoughts and feelings are ours to manage, and our happiness should not be dependent on someone else's actions or affections. As the great Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Our minds can create scenarios and assumptions that never come to fruition, leading us to invest emotional energy in people who may not share our sentiments. It's crucial to recognize that just as we cannot control the past, we cannot control someone else's thoughts. Instead, we can control how we respond, how we perceive our memories, and how we choose to move forward. Life is constantly shifting, and the person who once played an integral role in your life may no longer be as central to your existence. They might still hold a place in your heart, but it's important to separate the person from the memories, especially when it prevents you from living fully in the present. Nostalgia can serve as both a reminder of the beauty of the past and a potential barrier to fully engaging with the life you are living now. Embrace the wisdom of the Stoics, who taught that the only thing in our control is our own actions. By taking responsibility for how we process our memories and manage our emotions, we free ourselves from the weight of unfulfilled longing and allow ourselves to move forward with a sense of clarity and peace. If you found yourself reflecting on past relationships or experiences, it's worth considering the role that nostalgia plays in shaping your thoughts. Are you truly longing for the person, or is it the feelings and circumstances that they represent? Understanding this distinction can help you find closure, gain insight into your own emotional landscape, and ultimately let go of any attachments that no longer serve you. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. How have past experiences or relationships shaped your present mindset? And how have you navigated the emotional pull of nostalgia in your own life? If you find today's content useful to you, don't forget to share your feelings and lessons with us. Or simply comment, "Very cool." It's a great encouragement for our channel makers. Thank you very much. 7. The importance of self-reflection and growth. In the vast labyrinth of your mind, there are moments when someone is constantly on your thoughts, lingering like a shadow that refuses to fade. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, why? Why does this person, perhaps even without knowing it, occupy such a significant part of your mental space? There's a deep truth here, a lesson passed down through generations, particularly from the Stoics, who understood the profound power of self-reflection. They knew that often the individuals we think about the most are not merely occupying our minds, but are also serving as mirrors. These mirrors reflect parts of ourselves, our desires, our struggles, our unfinished business. It is not necessarily the person themselves that holds such power over you, but rather what they represent in your life. If you are endlessly thinking about someone, perhaps they remind you of something you lack, something you desire, or something about yourself you haven't fully confronted. The Stoics understood the art of introspection. Know thyself, as Socrates famously said. This wisdom teaches us that self-reflection is not only a pathway to understanding others, but a crucial tool in understanding ourselves. It's possible that this person embodies qualities that you admire, qualities that you wish you could manifest in your own life. Maybe they represent an unhealed wound, or perhaps they serve as a constant reminder of a path you have yet to walk, your potential, untapped and waiting. The question then becomes, why continue to focus on the symbol when you can focus on the source? As you engage in self-reflection, you unlock the understanding that this fixation on someone is, in essence, a reflection of your own unaddressed emotions and desires. The constant presence of this person in your mind can serve as a wake-up call, urging you to take action, to confront the inner turmoil that keeps you shackled to them. This awareness can be a game changer. It shifts the power dynamic. Instead of being held captive by thoughts of them, you regain control. You now know that this is less about them and more about your own inner work, your own growth. It's time to stop running in circles and start running toward personal evolution. Modern life, with all its distractions, often makes it easy to become absorbed by the thoughts and actions of others. You might find yourself endlessly scrolling through social media, seeking validation, or comparing your life to someone else's. The same principle applies here. Whether the person is a former lover, a close friend, or a colleague, the question remains, why do they hold such a powerful place in your thoughts? In today's world, it's easy to get lost in the noise and forget to take a moment for deep self-reflection. But the key to real freedom, to true peace of mind, lies in turning your focus inward, just as the Stoics would advise. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This is not some abstract concept. This is the cornerstone of modern mental well-being. If you find yourself consumed by thoughts of someone else, ask yourself, what does this person represent to me? What are they teaching me about my own life, my own desires, and my own potential? Now, here's the hard truth you must accept. It's time to stop the cycle. Stop obsessing over the idea of them. Instead, ask yourself, what part of me is still seeking validation through them? Where do I feel incomplete? Once you confront these questions, your growth begins. This isn't about pushing the person out of your mind. It's about reclaiming your mental space, your emotional power. It's about learning to harness the energy that has been spent thinking about them and redirecting it into something greater, your own growth. Think about this. How much of your time, your mental energy, are you willing to waste on someone else's hold over you? The Stoics believe that true strength comes not from focusing on external events or people, but from mastering your own thoughts and reactions. You can rise above the noise. You can break free from the prison of your own thoughts. You can choose to focus on your personal development. And in doing so, you unlock the door to your own happiness. Reflect on this. When you stop looking for answers in someone else and start seeking answers within, you reclaim your power. You stop giving away your peace. The moment you shift your mindset from obsession with another person to obsession with self-growth, you begin to carve out a new path, one filled with purpose and clarity. This is the secret to living a life free of unnecessary emotional turmoil, a life built on self-mastery. So ask yourself, what do I need to change within myself to stop allowing this person to dominate my thoughts? Your next step is not to chase answers from the outside world. It's time to invest in yourself. The battle is internal, and the power, my friend, is in your hands. You have the ability to move beyond fixation and step into a life that is truly your own. As you engage in this journey of self-reflection, always remember, what you think, you become. The Stoics understood this well. Now, you must understand it too. Let go of the endless loop of thoughts. Focus on what matters, your growth, your healing, your power. Don't let another person's energy steal your focus. It's time to stop thinking about them and start thinking about you. If this message resonates with you, if you're ready to break free from the chains of obsession and start mastering your thoughts, take action now. Comment below with a statement of commitment. I choose my own path. Share this with others who need to hear this. Subscribe for more insights into living with purpose and strength. Your time has come. Don't waste another minute. Final twist: the shocking truth about mutual thoughts. The truth is often stranger than we realize. When someone is constantly on your mind, it's easy to assume they're thinking about you as well. But here's the harsh reality that many of us ignore. Just because you can't stop thinking about someone doesn't automatically mean they're doing the same. Your mind has an incredible ability to trick you, leading you to believe there's a mutual connection, when, in fact, it's one-sided. Your brain clings to emotional attachments far longer than you may realize, replaying past moments and conversations, relentlessly searching for meaning, and keeping those unfinished feelings alive. The illusion is powerful, and it's easy to believe that this constant preoccupation means something more, but more often than not, it doesn't. The truth is, while you may be wrapped up in the thoughts of that person, they could be completely unaware of your emotional struggle. As Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This idea highlights how often we let our minds be governed by illusions that trap us in cycles of unfulfilled desire. But here's a twist. Sometimes, it's not the person you're obsessed with who truly holds significance in your life. It's not necessarily them that you are connected to, but rather the feelings and emotions they sparked within you. That sense of excitement, validation, or even the comfort of their presence may be what you're actually attached to, not the person themselves. The emotions you experienced when you were around them are the real source of your attachment, and not the individual who was merely a catalyst. This realization is liberating because it shifts the focus from a seemingly unattainable person to something much more within your control, your emotional response. The philosopher Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This is a reminder that you have the power to reshape your emotional landscape by recognizing where your attachment really lies. However, there's also another possibility to consider, one that defies the logic of simple psychology. The rare moments when two people are so deeply connected that they're not just sharing their thoughts, but feeling them simultaneously. This isn't about mental tricks or psychological illusions. This is about real, profound connection, the kind that transcends explanation. You've probably experienced it, the sudden realization that you were just thinking about someone, only to discover they were thinking about you at the same time. There's no rational way to explain it, no clear reason why, but the connection is undeniable. It could be that, in some rare instances, our minds and hearts truly sync up, creating an invisible thread between two people that can't be easily explained by science or logic. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Seneca, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This speaks to the deeper freedom that comes when we trust our instincts and emotional truths, even when they don't fit neatly into our intellectual understanding. It's a rare, magical moment when you feel deeply connected to another person, something that can't be forced or willed into existence, but rather something that naturally flows between two souls. So, the question remains, is the constant preoccupation with someone simply a product of your mind's tendency to create illusions, or is there truly a deeper, unspoken connection that transcends ordinary understanding? The answer, as with most things in life, isn't found in the other person's mind, it's found in your own. You have the power to reflect on your emotions and determine what's driving your attachment. Are you drawn to the person themselves, or is it their ability to trigger something within you that you need to address? This is where Stoic wisdom can be incredibly helpful. Epictetus once stated, "The greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. Skillful pilots gain their reputation from storms and tempests." When you face the emotional storm of obsessing over someone, it can be an opportunity for growth. It's a challenge that, if approached with introspection, can lead to self-discovery and a deeper understanding of who you truly are and what you truly want. What's most crucial here is that you recognize the power you hold over your thoughts and emotions. If you find yourself constantly thinking about someone, it's an invitation to pause and explore why. Is it the person themselves that you desire, or is it the emotion they bring to your life that you're clinging to? Perhaps the attachment you feel is a reflection of something you're trying to fulfill within yourself, a need for validation, excitement, or companionship. Understanding this can help you shift your perspective and free yourself from the cycle of obsession. As Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In real life, this means being mindful of your emotional patterns and challenging your thoughts when they lead you down an unproductive path. Ask yourself if your attachment to someone is truly serving you, or if it's just your mind's way of holding on to something that's no longer relevant or healthy. There's no need to let your mind control you, especially when it's driving you towards one-sided emotional attachments. You hold the key to your own peace and emotional well-being. So, let this be a moment of introspection for you. If you find yourself thinking about someone constantly, take a step back and assess whether it's the person or the feelings they ignited within you that you're truly attached to. Explore the emotional roots of your attachment and ask yourself, is this real connection, or is it simply a mental illusion? Embrace the power of Stoic wisdom and recognize that no matter what's happening in your mind, you have the ability to take control of your emotional life. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Let's start a conversation about the complexities of human connection and how we can navigate these emotions with wisdom and clarity. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe if you want more content like this. And hey, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you agree with the Stoic take on why certain people are always on our minds? Or maybe you have a different perspective? Feel free to drop your feedback or any questions in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Remember, the Stoic way isn't just theory. It's about practical wisdom you can use every day. So, let's keep growing together. Catch you in the next one.